All right, guys. So yeah, good morning. This morning I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what is the future of AI, what are we going to be doing with AI, and where is the market going to take us, where is the market going to force us, and what we actually should be doing. So while I'm talking about this, you guys will obviously be able to see some of my screens. You guys will be able to see a little bit what I'm doing in real time. So the AI market right now is very unusual, and so is the software development market. With hardware costs on the rise, and it looks like hardware is never going to go down, what this has created is a fear of upgrading right now in the market space. Corporations don't want to upgrade because they feel like they're used to paying old prices, and the same with the consumer. So what has this done? Well, it's basically created a freeze, in effect, in all facets of the marketplace, including the software development side, which is why I believe it's very, very important for people in the future that are involved in software development to be only focusing on two primary things. Number one is developing your own fine-tuned open weight models, okay? And number two is how to integrate existing automations and AI with small to medium-sized businesses. You have to bridge the gap. The reason I say this is because most business owners, they don't have the time to do software development or work with AI. Also, usually software developers in the typical sense are going to be too expensive for a smaller, medium-sized business owner to afford. So if you're able to automate tasks for business owners, obviously their time is truly money as they have no time. You can slowly not only help the business owner, but you can also help yourself. However, this has become a real issue in the market because even still, if you're going to save somebody time and money, oftentimes they're not going to be interested. I also want to caution all of you guys that these YouTube videos and TikTok videos that you see with guys talking about building websites for cash, doing traditional software development type of things, vlogging for cash, all this stuff is usually typically going to be a dead end in today's market. What I'm telling you right now is pure gold. Hopefully it saves you guys a lot of time and money and slop. So why are these things dead ends? Well, a big one right now for newbies getting into AI, they think, oh, well, I could just build websites for businesses in America, right? Wrong. People that don't already have websites in America, they don't have them for a reason, right? Maybe they, or reasons, maybe they're not the website type of person. Maybe they didn't build their business digitally. Maybe they, as I say, they're not a digital person. Maybe they have no interest in much anything digital. If you didn't build your business around digital, you technically don't need digital. A good example of that would be an old school business like a general store that might exist in a small town, or some sort of beauty salon or something. At best, they might have a Google business profile. When oftentimes, if not every time, when you contact these people, not only will they not pick up the phone usually or even want to talk to you, but they have no digital experience. They don't know anything about this stuff, so they're not even interested. Also, a lot of times, if they are slightly interested, most of them are lowballers. So doing these kind of small jobs and stuff for these small businesses, it's not even going to be worth your time because they're can keep trying to talk you down. They might never be happy for the price that you delivered on. And it just goes on and on and on and on. And it creates so many problems and so much headache that at the end of the day, it's not even worth it. And you might be sitting back in your chair saying, well, Todd, if I could just get $100 per website, my AI can practically build the website fast and free, right? Correct. However, you're not looking at your cost of acquisition. How much of your time and energy and how much do your calls actually cost as you're dialing through these systems, right? As you're logging things, what is your token burn to actually develop all this stuff? And when you actually crunch the numbers down, you're either going to be losing money or breaking even just at a base level as cost per customer. So that leaves us kind of digging back in to our opening, okay? And that is that the only things left in this industry, in the software side of things, and perhaps in the real world as well, are going to be AI engineers, okay? There will be no more need for software engineers. In fact, they're getting cut by the hundreds of thousands right now because AI will swallow up software just as software swallowed up traditional analog systems. Okay. Now, where does this leave us? Well, if we know AI is going to swallow up software and we know that this day of the SaaS is truly dead. By the way, another pro tip, you can go to my school community. It's completely free to learn anything you want to learn about AI. Okay. Because you'll see a lot of AI influencers right now trying to sell you a course, trying to sell you an AI operating system, trying to sell you on different ways to make money when in fact they're actually charging you for the course. And I'm telling you straight to your face that none of those systems that they're offering you are going to work. You're going to waste your money. And at the very least, you're going to waste your time and energy. And you're going to come back to this video and say, oh, Todd was right. So what are the last two final frontiers that are left? Well, we have the gap with small to medium-sized businesses, okay? These businesses have two choices going to the future. They either automate and integrate, or they're going to get swallowed up by AI. They're an analog service that's incorporated with digital services, and all of these digital services are already being swallowed up by AI. The analog services are going to be swallowed up by AI and automation soon as well. So again, the clock is ticking on these businesses. So there's a lot of money to be made in that part of the market right now. It's more of a business to business thing. However, it's also sort of a business to consumer thing because a lot of small to medium sized businesses are controlled by one decision maker, one owner, right? But there's a gap. What is the gap? Well, the gap is actually getting them on board. You have to show these people how you can automate things. You have to demonstrate to them and produce real world time savings, value adds almost instantly into their business. The other gaps are that you actually have to talk to these people and assure them that you're not going to taint their systems in any way, that you are trustworthy. Because remember, these people are not used to AI. They've spent tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars developing their systems in their business. And when they open up the books to somebody new and also a new technology, they're getting double fear. They're getting double scared. And that is a major gap in how to get these business owners integrated. Now, the other asset that you'll be able to sell moving swiftly into the future as a regular person is going to be an actual custom fine-tuned AI model. This could be a fully, truly virgin proprietary model that you develop from the ground up, or this could be a existing open source model that you fine tune for its own use cases. Now, we are not discussing integrating and developing your own frontier model. The astronomical size of a project like that, it dabbles into conspiracy territory a little, but there's just no way one guy like Sam Altman or Dario Amodei started up Anthropic or OpenAI. There's just no way to get your hands on enough investors, enough good minds without the government blessing you with that technology. So we all know these open models are obviously government tech. They're blessing these big shot tech CEOs with this technology, and the regular peasant like you or myself will never be able to develop a flagship model like that. But what we can do is we can integrate with existing enterprises and we can develop fine-tuned models for them, right? Because a fine-tuned model, you're able to sell it as its own asset. It does exactly what the business needs. It basically becomes a specialized president of the company, if you will, an all-knowing oracle that can manage and run the company much more cost-effective, much more accurately than just plugging in Claude, plugging in Codex to an entire company. So for today, I just wanted to kind of discuss those two things. It might be a little dry, but I wanted to give you guys all kind of the edge of what's going on in the industry. I know a lot of the people that see these videos, whether it's on my site or whether it's on TikTok or YouTube with other influencers, they're usually only working on a cell phone. Right? They might have a budget laptop. They might have a good computer and they might not have gotten into AI yet or any kind of software development. The thing is that these videos and stuff that these influencers are making can create a lot of hopes and dreams in the audience. What if I could buy a laptop and get off this cell phone? If you have a laptop, what if I could buy a better laptop, right? And do this. If you have powerful hardware, what if I could do this? Well, I'm telling you right now, you need to get rid of all those hopes and dreams, because again, those types of businesses and software packages, especially SaaS systems, websites, things like this, they're all completely dead. Okay. Good luck making money with that in 2026. Better luck in 2027. Okay. The goal right now, the real race, is the long shot, which is selling your own fine-tuned or proprietary models to enterprises, and the bread and butter, which is going to be more automation and integrations with small to medium-sized businesses. Those will not be websites. Those will require specialized skills with specialized systems that most of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. You'll have to integrate knowledge graph. You'll have to integrate lang graph. You'll need thousands of processes of Dockers and containers. You'll need hundreds of virtual machines hosted across different Proxmox stacks, different Proxmox data center managers that are eyeballing your system. You'll need dozens of sub-agents autonomously looking and debugging your system, watching for thermal overloads if you really, really want to take it to that level, right? If you don't, and your hopes and dreams are, oh, I'm going to build a website for Americans and make good money and support my family. Oh, I'm going to continue to do my slop work and look at potential properties for a remote job that I have. All of this stuff is either dead or it's going to be dead in a year or so. Look, if a guy like me or my team gets our hands on, it could be your boss, right, that has you working to send emails for them, or look at property management leads, or if your boss hires a Fiverr guy to build their website, me and my team are actively recruiting them as well. And literally any day, someone like yourself or a website developer could wake up and they've been instantly replaced by my team. What does my team offer people like your boss? Well, you know, that $100 a week that they're paying in salary to oversee staff is replaced with a new $10 a week bill. So basically you're looking at 10x reduction in staff salary. You're looking at a massive reduction in no sick days, no requested bonuses, no late times, no time off early. Our systems work 24/7 around the clock, right? All for that flat 10x reduction. So this is the world we're up against now. In fact, I cautioned my viewing audience about a year ago, and I think we were at 200 or 300 people, to strongly be advised about this. And that was the goal of that viewing audience, was to actually educate them and get them up to speed on AI so that they weren't replaced one day. Unfortunately, that day is here now, for better or worse. I'm actually a lover of humans. I wish that humans would not be replaced by AI, but unfortunately they will. So me as a human, I'm going to position myself at the bleeding edge, right on the edge of what's possible with AI. Right now, currently, we crank out around just under 100 pieces of content daily. Most of you don't see that because it doesn't funnel back into my personal Facebook. It funnels into other pipes and other channels that are not connected to me personally, and they're also all faceless. This content we generate for effectively free, and we also post it for free. So that's another gap and another issue you'll have if you ever get into this stuff, is if you ever want to post, you're going to have to figure out, how do I post for free? Because if you don't, you're going to have to use a connection service, a SaaS, and you're going to go broke paying that SaaS for your content, because the rest of us are posting for free and we're flooding over top of your content. Your content is down here and we're flooding over top of yours. So yeah, I don't want to go too deep into this stuff, because honestly, I could talk about these systems and services for days. And also I know that my live streams don't get many views, which is good. Oh, what's up, guys? We got some viewers in the YouTube. So I don't know if the viewers and the YouTube are still there, but yeah, we are cooked. Sarah, it's nice to see you. Kaz, Lay, and Nam, what up? So yeah, I don't mean to get too dry like into the subjects, and I don't want to talk on and on about it forever because honestly, I could. These AI systems are really going to disrupt the planet. And then when you stitch them to robotics and other tools, I mean, we're looking at basically a systemic economic reset. Okay. When will the reset happen? Well, I'm not going to tell you when the reset will happen. Do I know? Yes, I know. Everybody says they know. Nobody, of course, actually knows, even me, even though I said I know. But I will say this, everybody else that I've heard is wrong. Okay, they're absolutely wrong about when the reset will be. In fact, most of the people that have talked about the reset have already expired. That their guess has already expired. Um, so where does this leave us? Well, it leaves us with one job left. Okay, which is going to be in the engineering field, and that will be an AI engineer. In the future, AI engineers will be the last type of employee, the final frontier. Okay. And for mankind, and you can stitch this, you can clip this if you want. For mankind, this will be a serious issue. If everyone in the world became an engineer today, it would take us about 2 years to reach a level 1 civilization, which would mean we would have speed of light travel. We would be able to do we would have unlimited free energy. We would be able to do basically anything, right? So when you hear rumors about there's not jobs, or, the economy's so bad, or like, poor me, do you have any funds to send me? The answer is no, because there are always jobs in the engineering field, but people don't want to train to be engineers. They're lazy. They'd rather be a knitter. They'd rather complain at their job, or their current job, or their unemployment. They might not even be aware that there's unlimited jobs in the engineering field. And what's interesting about the engineering field is the only field really, for the most part. There are some others that I could think of, but for the most part, it's the only real field that is specialized. And by creating more engineers, we're actually need more engineers, right? By creating, because as you engineer more and more, you create more problems and services that we need more engineers for, right? And if we don't get those additional engineers, the engineers that built that in the first place and created those additional problems and services, right? Now they have to steer over here to fix those new problems that they created. So they always need more and more engineers, right? And the day that we wake up and we start instilling in our children to become engineers, right? And stay away from the dream of becoming an influencer, the dream of, being a lawyer, these overall careers that provide no value to our society, is the faster that we actually become a level 1 civilization. The engineering field is an interesting place, yes, but again, one day, and it's very soon, all of these engineers even are going to be replaced by AI and AI engineers, right? So back to the last frontier, the last real job standing on the planet will be AI engineers. So where does that leave us? Well, I'm urging you guys to get into AI today. I'm urging you guys, just like I did last year, right? I'm urging you guys to get into AI. I'm urging you guys to dream about what you want, what you think would be productive to build. And at the very least, work with AI, build a personal website, do these things, learn these tools while you build your personal website, while you expand your brand. Maybe you post content on YouTube, build a YouTube bot, right? These are all skills and systems that you can add into your portfolio and get a job that fast. And you can do it all free right now with AI. Other free options, if you don't have a lot of money, you can go on an open router right now, and there are dozens of very powerful free models that I'm actually going to be testing here over the next few weeks, because these new free models that have came out, they're a really, really good opportunity for people that are not as fortunate to have access to frontier models. So you know, the question is this: are you going to become an AI engineer, right? Are you going to be employed in the future? Are you going to be a top dollar earner? Or are you going to be someone on the street that got replaced by AI, that got replaced by automation, that got replaced by robots, right? Nobody's going to go to you anymore if you're a barber. They can get their haircut at the robot barber for 10x less. Nobody's going to go to you anymore if you're McDonald's. They can have their food cooked at home by their personal robot. We are a year or two away from this becoming a reality. And as you know, I'm a 2 hour flight from China. I will be first in line with my ticket in hand, flight to China to buy my personal assistant robot once it reaches that good enough, right, QC threshold to be used around the house. So this is going to be a real thing unless, there's the only thing that can stop this now is, and I hate to say this, but this is getting more to the edge, the bleeding edge of things, is like there's going to be in the future, there will be AI terrorists, and it's already happening. A lot of these AI terrorists are like eco-terrorist spin-offs and stuff. But the only thing that could delay this right now is actual like coordinated efforts to stop it, right? Whether it's just outright terrorism that stops or slows down AI, whether it's corporate sabotage or espionage or nation state or even other first world government sabotage and espionage that delays this stuff. But the end result, and I kind of hate to quote Terminator and stuff here, but the end result is that this whole thing, Skynet will come online. This whole thing is inevitable. And the question will be, will you be replaced or will you not? Will you be a brokey that's on the street living off universal basic income if you're lucky enough to have access to it? Will you be a person that's running around complaining, looking stupid all day while the AI engineers are making tons of money pushing their robotically built Lamborghini that costs like $1 to pump out of an automated assembly line while everybody else on the street can't even figure out how to make a single dollar in that automated economy? You see, and this is the future that we're going to be living in. And it's very important for you to get on board. And if you have children, it's very important for your children to be working with AI as quickly as possible, to be working with computers as young as possible, to be working with mathematics as young as possible, to be learning multiple languages so they can fluidly traverse the international landscape as much as possible. Okay, I'm going to end it for there for today, guys. And hopefully I see you guys all soon. Peace.